I'm not a morning person.
Dedicated to being passionate about it.
Bodybuilders have become more lazy.
People have always thought I lift fake weights.
Iran and the United States.
You take responsibility for that.
In 2020, you opened up, about beating your addiction, painkillers. And, you made a very touching post. I think it was like a bed. You posted a picture of a bed and it was soaked in sweat. And when I saw it, I was, obviously, I know you, but we're not friends. I don't see you every day. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes, right? So I was so shocked to see that. And I remember I tried reaching out. I reached out to you when we spoke about it, but it was so shocking because, obviously, I'm used to seeing you on social media. You're always with a smile on, always working out, always in the gym. So when I saw that, I was like, oh, wow. Like, talk about that. And I have no idea how long you were dealing with that issue and how you finally beat it. And I'm sure it's going to inspire a lot of people, that story.
Yeah, I mean, it was something I was very iffy about posting about it. And I second guessed myself, but I said, you know what? I've always tried to be very transparent on my social media. My goal through social media has never been to be popular or famous. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't think fame is real. I think your greatest, if you're lucky and blessed enough to have the privilege to have a large social media following, you should do something to try and help and inspire others, right? It's a privilege, but it's kind of a responsibility, right? Like you should take it on yourself to try to help people in some way, whether it's through words of encouragement, fitness, motivational posts. I thought this would be a great way to help out people that were going through the same thing. And to my astonishment, when I did post that, I had so many people reach out to me that were going through the same thing that I knew personally that were in the fitness and bodybuilding. Like the amount of people that are dealing with painkillers and dealing with addictions that are just like that, or like I went through, that are in bodybuilding and fitness, like, oh my God, like the people that messaged me, you would have never known. So that was really, really cool. It was a pretty horrible road, man. It was for about a year that I was in bad shape, pretty hooked. And it started to get worse and worse. Like I said, 2020 was a very hard year for me. I had everything. Everything kind of came crashing down. Like I said, between COVID, some business issues, going through, some fighting with some of my old business partners from different companies, being so isolated. I mean, literally sitting there texting the people that I've been good to and I've had their back, and I've been there for them, saying, "Hey, man, I could use somebody to help me out right now," and them just disappearing, right? Went through a breakup, which was tough too. Went through, splitting custody with my dogs, which was very hard too, because those are my, my kids, as well as losing my best friend, not seeing my family. Like, it was just all compounding on top of me, on top of the fact that, I have people that rely on me to feed their families, right? People that work for me, work for my different companies that, I got to make sure they still keep a salary. So they're, being able to take care of their families, so they're not hurting. So all that just kind of compounded and just fell on my shoulders on top of the stress that I already had. And, taking care of the people in my life, my family, stuff like that. And it just, I also have some physical injuries, I have a tear in my tricep, my shoulder, 2 tears in my knee, no cartilage, 2 broken vertebrae. So I go through pain every day. It literally, my doctor that's getting ready to do my surgery on my tricep is like, he literally asks, like, how do you walk, let alone train the way you train? It's like, I just fight through it. So being introduced to, painkillers was like, okay, like I feel really good. This feels really, really good, which led to, me being in a better mood, me being able to work more efficiently, me at night, when I'm doing coaching or talking to people, or it just kind of made everything go away, kind of made all the stuff on top of me just kind of seems so distant, right? And obviously, 1 turns to 2, 2 turns to 3, 5. All of a sudden, dude, I'm popping so many pills a day, and then you start to get anxiety, and you start to feel like you're in prison. Like you're like, you can't leave the house because what if you need one, right? Like what if you start to go through withdrawal symptoms? Like it just becomes like scary, and then you start telling yourself, oh, I'll kick it next week, and it just spirals downward, and then it gets to a point where it doesn't feel good anymore, right? You feel like like I said, you're in a prison, and then it goes from extreme like feeling of good to extreme bad. So then it's like
After it wears off, you go through a very rough time, right? And then you gotta keep
I
taking
mean,
more.
even during that, I got to the point where it was like there were a couple of points last year where I was like, man, like I literally wrote notes to everybody saying, hey, this is it. Like I'm done. I'm gonna pop a bunch of pills and call it a day. Like I was in such bad shape. I had such bad rock bottom last year. I was like, man, why live? You know, I literally remember one night taking like 14 fucking pills, 15 pills, all I had left, and saying, if I wake up tomorrow, I do. If I don't, I don't. And I put up a post and I said, hey, you know, didn't say that explicitly. I left a note for some people, and I was like, fuck it, man.
Wow.
You know, I was so tired of everything and everyone. I was like, there's no reason, right? And that was the drugs, man. That was, like I said, extreme happiness, like it's extremely feeling good and feeling just down to the worst of the worst, and just being in that prison. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I didn't, obviously, the next day I woke up, thank God. And there was one other time that I had something similar. And I remember my mom called me and she started crying. And she's like, I know there's something wrong with you. I was like, Mom, I'm fine. She's like, I know you. You're my son. And I was like, that was my wake up call. Like, wow, like if my mom can see this, I need to get my shit together. So I did. So I started researching ways to get off. I didn't see anybody or go to any professionally. I just did some research online. I talked to a few people that went through some similar stuff. I started to wean myself off, you know, gradually, week by week, to the point where, yeah, I mean, the withdrawal was tough. You know, there were finally, when you say, man, I'm just going to kind of end it, you get to the point where, you know, I'm laying in bed in a pool of sweat and I'm hot, but I'm shivering cold, and, you know, the headaches, the nausea, the throwing up. I knew it was going to be tough, but I was like, man, you know, if I don't do this now, I'm going to end up dead. So I did, and I got myself off. I had another buddy that reached out, you know, gave me some pointers. My buddy Mark, who had dealt with some of this stuff too. And I just took accountability for myself. And you know what? The biggest thing about it that I try and tell people, and I didn't post for sympathy. I'm not looking for sympathy. I fucked up. Like, I'm an accountable person. I've gotten so much hate from people since I posted that. People tell me, you know, you're a fucking druggie, you know, go pop some more pills, go kill yourself, all this stuff. And I get messages like that every single day, comments too. And that's okay. Like I said, you know, I expected that. I expected to lose some friends. I expected to lose some respect from people. But, you know, I went 34 years without touching a sip of alcohol, and 34 years without touching anything, right? And unfortunately, I had some injuries and, you know, and some pain, and you get prescribed you know, a pill from a doctor, and you're like, oh, well, this is safe. And all of a sudden you're fucking hooked, and then you go through the spiral down and use it for more than just physical pain. And, you know, you find yourself in a hole that is so fucking hard to get out of. So
A
hard.
very emotional story, man. The people in your life, I know your mom's, you said your mom kind of noticed something, but the other people around you knew about this situation that you're going through?
No, nobody. No, I kept, like I said, I was so isolated during that time.
Mhm.
And the people that I tried to talk to, like I said, the people that I considered to be like my close friends that were in the area that I needed to be there for me, nowhere to be found, man. Text left unread, calls unanswered. I was completely alone, man, completely alone. And that probably made things worse. I had nobody to talk to, you know, and nobody that I trusted to talk to, at least. And that was hard. It was really, really hard. But again, man, you know, I'm accountable for me, you know, and to be honest, I really appreciate what I went through. And I don't regret having gone through it, because, you know, it was a choice that I made that put me on the wrong path that ended up destroying me. And I always say, you know, I like when I face things like tragedy and sadness and pain, like I don't shy away from it. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, keep your mind occupied so you don't think about it. No, it's like, I like that shit to break me. Like, I want that shit to be a beautiful storm that destroys every piece of me. That way, when I build myself back up, I'm that much stronger, and nothing can ever fucking touch me again. There won't be another fucking day in my life I touch one of those pills. And I know there's people out there that relapse. There's a high rate of relapse. I know, you know, it's been what, 7-8 months now since I, you know, touched something, maybe a little bit more. And I have no desire. And listen, I'm not trying to knock people that do, but just for me, like, I went to that bottom. Like I was knocked down and completely ruined and destroyed. And I picked myself back up and I built myself back up, you know, through the gym, you know, through prayer, through meditation, through, you know, other means over the past 7, 8 months, the people I have in my life now. And never again. There is not 1 ounce of me that desires to go on that road at all. So
You mentioned going through some business issues, right, in 2020. Did that lead to having more anxiety that led to the use of pills?
absolutely, absolutely, man. When you it's your income, right? When you are faced with business decisions that threaten your income and your, you know, the money that you have coming in, especially when that money's been used to take care of your family and put food on the table for your family. Yeah, that definitely, that was a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety. You know, I'm not a fancy guy, man. I don't buy super nice cars. I don't go on luxurious vacations. I don't, you know, buy jewelry and there's nothing wrong with that for the people that do that. So like for me, my goal has been since day one and will always be, I want to do well in a sense, you know, from a financial perspective, to take care of my mom and dad, to take care of my brothers, my sister, my nieces, my nephews. I want everyone to have some type of just relief in that aspect for me, especially my parents. Like, you know, I always say, you know, people always say, you know, what's on your bucket list? And like my bucket list is to make my parents' bucket list come true. And until I can make that happen, I don't consider myself successful at all. I've been working really hard on that. And I've been able to do some great things for them, but not there yet. So yeah, I mean, you know, it was very hard. It was very hard to deal with that kind of stuff. And it was, you know, it's, again, man, I'm appreciative of everything I went through, because the place I'm in now, when I see people, when I talk to people and I keep my mouth shut and I listen and I see the way people are moving, I see things so much clearer now. I see what people's agenda is. I see what their moves are and what they're trying to do. And my bullshit filter has become so much better moving forward. And the people I'm aligning myself with now are people that are completely different than what I dealt with before. So again, in a perspective that's, you know, or the perspective I've gained from that has put me in a better position. And like I said, the people that I'm working with now and the people that I'm doing big things with now are very loyal, good people. And the problem with this world today is people don't know what loyalty means. You know, people think loyalty is what's the quote, that loyalty is just a tattoo you get in like some Chinese writing, right, or something like that. Whereas I'm old school loyalty. Like if somebody's my friend, if somebody's my partner, if somebody's my better half, or whatever the case may be, like I'll die for that motherfucker. Like that, like, I'll give you everything I have and then some. I'll never speak behind your back. Hate that. I'll always stand up for you, no matter what the situation is. And people just, you know, they don't. It's very rare to have that today. And so, yeah.
People also don't
I
understand.
always go off on tangents. I'm sorry. I'm not a talker. I'm not a talker.
No, I think people don't understand. Like when they see you, right? You're a leader, right? You take care of people. You actually, you know, stand for those people. You know, you stand up for them. You take care of them. So I don't think they understand how much certain things can affect you mentally. You know what I mean? Because you have so much pressure on you to provide. You know what I'm saying? And that can affect so many people to lead into anxiety and depression.
Something I take a lot of pride in is my integrity and my loyalty.
Mhm.
If somebody's my friend or somebody that I consider to be, like I always tell people, I know a lot of people, but I only have very few friends. So if somebody's in my life in that way, I will do what I can to provide for them and take care of them. And I'll always have their back. But yeah, I mean, hey, people don't see what it is that, I mean, I talk about it here and there. You know, I posted stuff like when I surprised my dad with a car, my mom, stuff like that. But you know, people think, you know, a lot of the things you do and the moves you make are selfish and to be greedy and to do this and do that. And it's like, if you only knew what my life was like and what I'm trying to accomplish. Like but then again, you know, there's two types of people in this world I've come to realize. There's those that see success and they become very hateful and negative and insecure and they try to tear that person down. And there's people that see success and they get motivated and they're happy for that person. Me personally, I'm the latter. If I see somebody doing well, I'm very happy for them. Very, very happy for them. I will talk them up and I get motivated to work harder. I will never understand being the former, the insecure, hateful type. Like, it's just not me, man. I don't have a bone in my body that works that way.